Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following program's views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or StylesRebelRadio.com.
Welcome to another episode of Behind Enemy Lines. You are on WSRR Radio, saving the underground music scene. We are nationally local, meaning we play your local bands nationally. 216-859-8699 is the hotline. Give us a call, give us a text, let us know what you want to hear. I'm Lucas D'Orazio. I'm here with Dom Ferro. We are in Bloomfield, the Bloomfield neighborhood of Pittsburgh. We like to bounce back and forth between here and the North Shore, right?
We're mobile.
We like to we mix it up between where we're recording.
We're even more mobile now, I'd say.
Yeah.
We got a nice little setup today. The audio might be sounding a little crisp. We even got ourselves an audio board. Hit that thing.
Oh
go.
My god.
Come on now.
That is crazy smooth.
We got everything we need.
There we go. That is crazy smooth.
We got laugh tracks. We got pretty much anything you can ask for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the crowd cheering for us because we got a board.
That's right.
I love it.
They're going to love the new additions to the show, and it's exciting to be here for another episode, Week 7 of the NFL football season. Currently underway, just these Monday night games left, but I think it was a pretty good week.
By the way, we're recording on October 21st, Monday, October 21st.
That's correct.
Got to get that in the zeitgeist. Put that out there.
Where we're at.
I don't think I use zeitgeist work there right there,
Probably
but
not.
whatever.
Gotta let them know where we're at, what time it is, everything.
That's right.
But I think it was a good weekend for the Browns fans. I
don't know about that. It was a very I was very torn about this weekend for the Browns fans. They lost to the Bengals this week. Nick Chubb came back. That was, obviously a highlight. Scored a touchdown. That was big. Dom, you ever do something weird that like you don't know how to feel about it? Like
always
you wear socks, but you're butt naked besides that. But you have socks on.
Something like that.
Or like you accidentally got in the shower, but you have gum in your mouth. Like you don't know how to feel about it.
Definitely.
I did that today. I got in the shower with gum in, and it threw me off so much that I forgot to wash my body. I got out, and then I was like, oh, crap, I got to get back in there. I got to finish the job.
That's kind of bizarre.
But that's how I felt
you just thought you were going in there to chew gum?
No, like I got in there, and I started washing my face. I was like, I have gum in my mouth.
What's wrong with that?
It was after the gym, and I was just like, I don't know. It's just like not something you usually do. You don't usually have gum in your mouth when you're in the shower.
Probably not usually, but
that's what I'm saying. It's not like
the craziest thing.
There's not anything wrong with it. It just threw me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now I know what you're saying.
That is how I felt this weekend. Like after the Browns game, like it just like I didn't know how to feel about anything. Like I was like, there's gum in my mouth, but I'm getting hit with water. Like Deshaun Watson got hurt, and you don't want to cheer for a guy to be hurt, but he's also a bad guy.
It's like stealing candy from a baby.
I don't think
you got candy.
I don't know. That's not how that.
Feel bad that the baby's not happy anymore.
That is not how that statement's used.
Why
you
not?
use it in more of a philosophical way. Usually, it's just saying that something's easy. Stealing candy from a baby.
No, I don't think that's what that means.
Yeah, it is.
I think it means like, yeah, it might be nice and good, but on the other hand, you got a baby that's pretty upset here. You just stole from a baby.
That is not why people say stealing candy from a baby. They say it when it's easy. Like, oh man, that was like taking candy from a baby. Because it was easy.
No.
Yes.
No.
People don't use that and then philosophically be like, the baby deserved the candy more than I.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what the phrase is.
Bull crap.
It's like you just stole candy from a baby. You're a jerk, but yeah, you got candy. It's like the same thing with Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I mean, the guy sucks. He's a baby. He's kind of the worst human being in the NFL. But at the same time, he's still a person, and he just tore his Achilles, and his career's over. It's kind of sad. But you still got to be happy a little bit.
I don't think anyone should be happy. I think the entire situation really is just a stinker. It's like a Duke in a baby's pants. Like it just stinks. And you look back on it, it's like, man, like I guess we took a shot, but he ended up sucking, and he sucks as a human being, I guess. But I don't know. You don't want to cheer for a guy's downfall, but at the same time, hopefully, from a football standpoint, hopefully they can move forward from this now. And it's like, all right, we can at least, for this season, for the 2024 season, like, it's almost like, all right, now we have an excuse to play another quarterback because he physically cannot play. Yeah. That's like the one silver lining, is that it might save our season.
The worst part about it for me, just as an outsider, was that day of all days was when Jameis Winston was the emergency third quarterback.
Yes, that did. It hurt. Well, apparently the rumbling is that it's because he's on the trade block and they want to trade him.
Who's trading for Jameis?
So I don't know. Some team that needs a quarter. I don't know. Not me.
I don't know who would trade for Jameis.
Maybe the Panthers.
What team is that desperate?
Yeah, there's really no one that
desperate.
Yeah, but like hopefully get a 7th round pick out of him. Like,
yeah, I guess
that's fine. But obviously, I don't know if it's going to work, but I think they pretty much would take anything they could get.
I feel like there's been a lot less injuries at the quarterback position than there were last year.
So far, don't jinx it, but I mean,
Jordan Love was banged up.
Jordan Love got banged up this week. Jaden Daniels got hurt. Tua,
nothing crazy
Deshaun
like
Watson.
Last year. Like Josh Dobbs seemed like he was a starter on like 4 teams last year because so many quarterbacks were getting injured.
It's because Josh Dobbs is the pastronaut. He's the man.
He's kind of the man.
I love Josh Dobbs. Alopecia.
That's right. There are a few athletes with alopecia.
Yeah, who else can you think of? Charlie Villanueva. Yeah, for the Pistons.
I mean, I remember seeing him on 2K when I was a kid and be like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I hate this guy.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know why. I actually do know why, because he was a power forward, and I always played against the Pistons because I would always play as the Cavs, but he could shoot. I was like, what's this guy doing? Why is he standing in there draining threes on me? This is bullshit.
He was always nice. It would always, you got to create those rivalries. It'd be like Jordan. Take that personally.
There's so many guys who I hated their professional career just because they did something to me in 2K or Madden.
Darren Williams.
Like, screw that guy.
Darren Williams.
Yeah, Darren Williams was always crazy nice. Darren Williams, in 2K13, he was on the Brooklyn Nets, and I remember because it was the first year that they were the Brooklyn Nets instead of the New Jersey Nets. So they were in the black and white jerseys.
Yeah.
And he hit a 3/4 court bank shot to send it to OT on me against the Cavs. I was like, this is bullshit.
Some stuff you never forget.
I was so pissed. I was like, what the hell? And then we blew them out in OT. But I do specifically remember beating them by 20 in OT. Kyrie went off.
2K used to be such a good game.
Yeah, it's fallen off.
Do you think part of it is the athletes?
I actually kind of had this conversation the other night that 2K is, to me, unplayable now because me and you have played some old 2K12 and 13, and the movement is so much, I don't know if it's more fluid, but it's like crisper.
Yeah.
You don't get caught in animations as much. Like now it's like so slow, and I guess it almost makes it harder to play because it's slower and like you have to calculate your movements and stuff better and your passing. But it was like, I can't play it. Like we played 2K13 with Mac Miller and Justin Bieber, and they're crossing people up on my park, which was awesome, of course. Meek Mill, DJ Pauly D.
You got a lot of stars. JB Smoove.
Kevin Malone from The Office. But like the movement is so much worse. Like it's slow, and it's like you move like the right stick like a little bit to the left, and your guy like goes way too far.
Doing a full.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on now. Like, I can't do 2K anymore.
Speed is definitely part of the issue. That's why I feel like NCAA, that new game, I feel like that's why it was so much more fun to play.
Yeah.
Like Madden is just getting slower and slower every year it feels. You get stuck in those animations. You get sucked into sacks. And then it's college football game. College football game comes out, and it's fast.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And people are like, oh, man, the movement's unrealistic. But you watch college football players, and it's like, no, they're the best athletes in the world. Like they're fast and they're twitchy and making guys miss like that, and the tackling's bad. That was another thing, like, oh man, the tackling's so bad. It's like, no, college football tackling is bad.
Yeah.
Like that's why there's so many broken tackles, and it makes it more fun too.
I agree.
Which is why no one's playing Madden now. Everyone's playing college football.
Feels like your players are in molasses. Madden. It's not a good game.
I haven't played it, but it just looks, from all the stuff I've seen, it just doesn't look as fluid. Like I said, kind of with the 2K thing.
It's a real shame. Like you thought, I mean, when I was a kid, I thought that video games would be so great. in 2024.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've gone downhill, at least sports games.
I think at first glance, it's like, oh man, it looks so much better. Well, I shouldn't even say that because like for a while, I was playing Madden 18 for a long time until college football came out, actually. So up until like a couple months ago, I was playing Madden 18 and the players looked better than they do in 23 and 24, 25, whatever's now out now. They look too cartoonish. Like it doesn't even look like the face scans are really good. But like their bodies look unrealistic to me. Like their shoulder pads look weird. They run weird, kind of.
There's no customization anymore either.
No,
like those old school games, you could
create fans.
Yeah, you could create signs too.
You could create signs for the fans to hold. You could create fans, what their wardrobe was and stuff like that. They really made it like a creative, fun experience, and now it's dead.
I think online kind of ruined it, but also like awful people ruined that stuff. Like, because in Call of Duty, you used to be able to change like your display picture and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and people would make just the worst stuff ever.
It would just make a swastika.
Yeah, just the most racist, vile stuff you would ever see, and those people ruined it for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean that's the scum of society was on Call of Duty lobbies, obviously, and so were we.
I was never a Call of Duty guy.
I really wasn't either. For a little bit, probably a year of my life, like I was like, oh yeah, Call of Duty is really fun. And it's actually funny we're having these conversations because I had them on Saturday night with a guy. We just happened to be talking about video games. I was like, yeah, Call of Duty was fun, but like you're playing team deathmatch or something like that. It's fun for 5 minutes, and it's like, all right, I just wasted 5 minutes because it wasn't building towards anything.
Yeah.
As stupid as that is. Like, whereas I play a college football dynasty.
Try and get a championship.
I'm invested in these kids, like getting a championship, like you said, and like building the storylines are going on in the back of my mind, like stuff like that.
You said earlier off the air though that you liked Fortnite.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's
the reason that I don't play Fortnite alone though. I play Fortnite with friends online.
Yeah,
like that's where I think Call of Duty can be fun is if you play with your friends online and you're like pretty much just hanging out, like you're just talking about whatever, and like that's what we do on Fortnite. Like I don't really care how many wins we get. It's fun if you get a win, victory royale, do a little dance, but you know that's not really what I'm there for.
Yeah, but when you're playing by yourself. You want to be
like if I was playing Call of Duty by myself, it's like this is such a waste of time and I hate this. But I guess if you're playing with friends, obviously that's something different. But I don't have a lot of, maybe it's because I'm 25, maybe it's because my friends weren't ever super into video games, but I play a lot by myself and so I just dive into a dynasty or a my career or a franchise mode in Madden. And I create the storylines, and it's all in my head, and it's like I'm having the best time right now.
What's like the deepest you ever went into a sports game? Like if it's like a my career, like a dynasty, like how many years do you think? Think you ever reached like a decade?
Right now in college football, I'm already in 2040.
Wow.
The game's 2025.
Isn't there like a limit on the years?
There might be. I wouldn't doubt it. There's probably one eventually. Well, what I used to do in Madden a lot, in Madden 18, which maybe it's because it was outdated. It's like the rosters were outdated. But I would start a franchise, and then I would just immediately sim 10 years. Yeah. So that, the team that I was on was terrible. Because,
they're always horrible.
Yeah, because then it was like, the user isn't, working with them. Like, the draft is bad. Your players that they're drafting is bad. They're not making good trades, stuff like that. You're the worst team in the league, so you have to rebuild them. And also, it's like all brand new players who don't exist. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why, but I love that.
Yeah, that stuff I always thought were going to be funnier or being more entertaining than it was, but just never.
It never hit for you?
No.
Oh, I love doing that. I'm still doing it with college football. Like now, the reason I got college football was not to play. Like everyone's like, oh man, like all the Quinn Ewers is in the game, Arch Manning, like Travis Hunter, like these real players. I was like, I don't care. They're gonna be gone in 2 months anyway. Once I forward my franchise, like I don't give a crap.
Part of that though I really like because like through the season, like in NFL, like Madden, you know who you're going in. With. College football, like throughout the season, there's more players like popping up. You're like, man, that'd be fun to play with. Like Ashton Genty, I don't think before the season no one was like, yeah, I want to play with Boise State.
Yeah,
but now with him, it's like kind of got revisited.
Yeah,
and I think even in the future when these guys become NFL stars, the games will still be revisitable because they'll be like, man, these dudes played on this team.
Yeah, that is true.
Like 14.
Which, yeah,
I
I
always
was gonna
tried to be
say.
like, man, what guy was playing there because they didn't have the names.
Yeah,
but
and it was harder
in the future we'll
to
be able
figure
to
out
look
who it
back
was.
and
But
see exactly.
yeah, like I remember Ohio State had a wide receiver 15, and everyone's like, this guy's really good. Who was number 15? I was like, well, actually, it was Devin Smith, who changed his number to number 9 after this. So that's why he's number 15. But when he was a freshman, he was number 15. And everyone knew he was going to be really good. 216-859-8699. Are you guys Dynasty franchise merchants? Let us know.
Wind down your night or start your morning off with Lo-Fi Wake Up on WSRR Radio. Weekdays from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines on WSRR Radio. This segment of the show is brought to you by Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant. Last week I said that we were blocks away from where it is. This week we're actually blocks away from Hellbender Vinyl in Upper Lawrenceville. We were in North Shore last week. This time we're in Bloomfield, right down 40th Street, down the hill. Go right on Butler Street for about a mile and a half. You'll be in Upper Lawrenceville from where I am.
Quality.
And if you can triangulate those instructions to figure out where I live, good job. Come hang out. Come vibe with me. Come vibe with me, Dom and Millie, my dog. Hellbender Vinyl, hellbent on quality, hellbent on service.
That's right.
Dom, actually, every week we say, I don't know how they do it. I went on their Instagram page, and the very first pinned post is someone from WYEP, a local radio station around here, that's like, isn't it crazy how, they put music on plastic? Well, follow me on my web series right here at this link, and you can figure out how. And I was like, oh, man, I'm not going to watch that, but I should.
Goddamn radio folk.
But if I wanted to find out, if I was really invested in it,
then go to their Instagram.
Hellbender Vinyl.
I mean, I've watched videos on before.
Yeah,
but
it still does. It just like, it was one of those things
register.
that like sometimes you just don't grasp it in your mind.
Same with Wi-Fi, same with Bluetooth. You can freaking explain it to me all you want. It won't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much anything electronic with me most of the time, to be honest.
Pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's pretty much anything with anything to me. Like, how do plants turn sunlight into food? I don't know. They just do it.
That I think is made up.
Photosynthesis?
Well, no, not photosynthesis, but that they turn it into food.
Well, that's what photosynthesis is.
It ain't food.
Well, they turn it into energy,
yeah.
Which food is energy. So it's pretty...
For food, animals.
Saying it's food is pretty much just a way to simplify it for the fifth graders that they're talking to.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I just made that up. 216-859-8699 if you want to explain to us how photosynthesis works. And what does it make?
I think we talked about this on an earlier episode, and we'll jump right back into our football talk. But how many days a week do you think you see SpongeBob?
Do I see SpongeBob? Yeah. Every day I watch him. Make it sound like he's a streamer.
Like you know him personally.
I watch him. No, I don't know him personally. I watch him through his window. I watch SpongeBob every night before bed. I have for the last month. All
right. Outside of the television show, though, how often do you think you see him? I think I see him every single day.
Every day?
Every single day.
It's funny you say. It's almost like you're reading my mind. You were following me this whole week because I got. They have these AI chatbots on Instagram. Yeah. You can talk to a fake person.
Llama.
And I guess now they're like, how sometimes you're scrolling on Instagram and it's like, person you should follow, person you may know. It's like a couple of different accounts.
You may know SpongeBob.
No, they're promoting the AI chatbots, and 2 of them came up, and there was more of them, but the first 2 were FreakBob, and it was a picture of SpongeBob, which is like a meme, FreakBob. I don't know if anyone's on TikTok enough that I am, but FreakBob was calling me pretty much. And it was like, what's up, meme lord? Talk to me on chat.
No way.
On Instagram, AI chatbot.
We might need to have him on an episode.
To get FreakBob on
here. Within the next year or 2, they'll have the voice version of that.
Yeah, where you can talk to him.
You can literally
and he'll be
have him on the show.
Thanks for answering. Not many people are answering nowadays, and it's taking a toll on me.
Someone set a reminder for a year from now for us to have FreakBob on the podcast.
Welcome to Behind Enemy Lines. This is episode 200, and we're having FreakBob as our guest.
Welcome in, special guest FreakBob.
Why did you ask me how many times I see SpongeBob?
Because I think we've talked about it like on a really early episode, like one of the first. I think I said like
a really early one. This is like episode 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
so like a month ago.
I'm thinking like episode 1 or 2. It's like how many? Well, like what's the percentage of days in your life that you saw SpongeBob? I miscalled FreakBob there. But now I'm just thinking like current day because I don't watch the show. I never watch the show.
I watch it every night.
I think I see him every day, even without watching the show.
SpongeBob's a cultural icon.
He is, whether you like it or not.
He's the man. I love him. I love SpongeBob.
People say that there's like a yellow guy for
watch him
every decade.
A yellow guy?
Yeah, but
is that what Minions are supposed to be for like the
2010s.
Generation under us?
Yeah.
Who's before Sponge?
Bart
Simpson. Okay, and before that?
Like I don't know, Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. What about? Well, is that
before that? There are no characters.
What's
before
70s? What about 70s? Was that like, what about the Jetsons? Is there anyone in there?
I don't know if there's any yellow guys.
Oh, there's probably someone in like the Flintstones that's yellow.
Yeah.
There's got to be a little yellow dude running around there.
Have to be.
Oh, you know what? Woodstock from Peanuts.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about? Snoopy's little bird friend? Yeah, he's a little yellow dude. Yeah.
What about Tweety Bird?
Tweety Bird?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know which one of those is 70s and 60s, maybe?
So the question is, who's going to be the yellow guy in the 2020s?
Who's the next yellow guy? Hezbollah? Was he yellow enough? He's a little dude.
Hezbollah fell off.
Hezbollah did fall off.
I think he just stopped caring about the clout.
The Rizzler took over. That would be a crazy crossover.
There's always a small guy and a yellow guy.
Yeah.
You pick.
And sometimes they're both small and yellow.
Like Bart.
Like Minions.
Like Pac-Man.
Like Sponge. I love in SpongeBob when Patrick calls him Bob. I don't know why I think that's hilarious, but there's a couple of instances where he goes, "Come on, Bob."
No,
and
yeah,
I think that's awesome. I'm watching How I Met Your Mother right now, and
I got another yellow guy though. Like the 50s maybe or 60s probably. Big Bird.
Big Bird, there you go. He's not little, but he's yellow.
Bert
and Ernie.
Yeah.
Bert and Ernie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Little.
I'm watching How I Met Your Mother right now, and Marshall, who's played by Jason Segel, his dad is the voice of Patrick. So he comes on, he's like, "Hey, son," and he's just Patrick. He's just being Patrick, but he's just being a dad, but he's using the Patrick voice because that's his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't watch it. I mean, like, I love the show. I think it's hilarious, but I'm like, man, that's Pat.
Yeah, no, you cannot use his voice for anything else.
Yeah.
There's some guys that their voice just doesn't.
They're typecast into a voice.
I mean, they're pretty. Well, I don't know about the SpongeBob people, the Simpsons people. They were doing like all the voices, probably like 4 or 5 people doing like 50 characters.
Voices. Well, that's how like Family Guy is too.
Yeah, Family Guy's a knockoff.
It's mostly Seth MacFarlane just doing a bunch of people,
and they stole everything from the Simpsons.
They stole them being a cartoon family. Man, that's such a ripoff.
They definitely stole that. Plagiarism.
Dude, my parents stole being a family from The Simpsons.
From the Family Guy.
My mom and dad are such con artists. They stole having 3 kids from freaking those yellow dudes. This is bullshit. My whole life's a lie.
I got another yellow guy for you.
The D'Orazios are just a knockoff of The Simpsons.
Who do you think's a better yellow guy? Minion or Pikachu?
Oh, Pikachu's a good one. Better? Ooh, bigger. Ooh, Pikachu might be more worldwide known.
Bro, I don't know. Those Minions are everywhere.
But the Minions are big. Like, I feel they got their own movies.
If you went up to like a 8-year-old and you showed them pictures of both of them, they'd be like, "That's Kevin from Minions," and that's and I don't know who that guy is.
I think people know I don't know. Whatever.
Little kids.
They just had a movie came out, Detective Pikachu. That was a couple years ago. Ryan Reynolds.
That movie had to have been mid.
It probably was. I didn't watch it.
Neither did I.
But when I saw a preview for it, I was like,
pretty cool.
If it was on, I'd watch it.
Remember when Pokemon?
I'm not going to seek it out.
Remember when Pokemon Go came out?
Yeah, Pokemon Go to the polls.
That took the world.
Do you remember that?
No.
Hillary Clinton was like, because it was around 2020, right? Or 20. That's when she
16.
was running. 2016. Yeah, 2016. Yeah, because 2020 was Biden. 2016, she was like, we need young people to vote, and then she was like, Pokemon Go to the polls. And everyone was like, this is golden. I think she said another like meme thing that got blown up, but whatever. Should we talk about sports or more yellow guys?
Hillary Clinton.
We could talk about more yellow guys or politics. Let's go to sports, I guess.
Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut? Is
That's
he
the last
yellow?
one I got. Yeah, he's yellow.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's a yellow guy.
He's little. I love Mr. Peanut.
They're calling Pluto a yellow guy. I can't agree with that.
Pluto the dog from Mickey Mouse?
Yeah. I think that's him.
How messed up is it that Mickey Mouse, his best friend is a dog, Goofy, and he also owns a dog in Pluto?
Yeah, what do you think? You think he's a bad guy?
Yeah, he's a bad guy for that. He's just a bad guy.
He's kind of the worst.
Like, what do you think Goofy does when he comes over?
Like, it's pretty messed up what you got going on here.
Yeah.
But he takes care of Pluto
Yeah, he does.
real well.
Why is Pluto less evolved than Goofy in this world?
Maybe Goofy isn't even a dog.
No, he's a dog.
Well, we might need to do some research in the break about
About
Why?
Goofy and Pluto?
why they have such differences.
I think
why one evolved much faster.
I
than
think the
other.
writers didn't do enough research, is why. They're like,
Like,
yeah,
another
Mickey,
dog?
he should have a dog. Well, who should Mickey's best friend be? Probably a dog. Oh. Maybe they
Fair
had
enough.
two different writing teams. And they were like, yeah, his best friend's going to be a dog. And one of the writing teams was like, oh, like, okay, so he's going to be a sentient being like him, like whatever. He's going to be anthropomorphic. And then the other people were like, oh, yeah, like man's best friend. It's just a dog, right? So like both of them came back with dogs to the pitch meeting or whatever.
To
And then they're
Walt
like,
Disney
oh,
himself.
shit. And Walt Disney was like, so he's got a dog and he's dogs with a dog? And he was like, yeah, sure.
I
They just
feel
threw
like-
it together
I
last
feel
second.
like these were all out of the mind of Walt, though.
Probably.
That early on, he had his hand
He was
on
cooking.
everything.
He was cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Walt Disney's kind of the man. He might be up there with the most influential people of the last 200 years.
Isn't Walt Disney like universally hated for being like,
Yeah, but everyone was awful back
yeah,
then.
true.
So it's kind of hard to judge people for like
cancel
their
him?
character. Yeah,
To cancel him post haste, post mortem.
but just influence. He's got to be up there.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely up there. I mean, Disney's like the biggest thing ever. They'll probably sue us for me saying
For even saying
that
the
he was
word.
being an asshole. An asshole.
Apparently, they froze his head,
Yeah, that's the rumor on the street.
and then they made Frozen to distract.
Oh.
So when people looked up Disney Frozen,
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know.
That was
if
a
I
good.
buy it.
That's a good
I
idea.
don't know if
That's
I
not
buy it, but it
bad.
would be kind of smart of him.
So Dom, the 12-team college football playoff.
Let's hear it.
So last week I wanted to talk about this actually because Ohio State got beat by Oregon. It was a top matchup. They were both top. I think they were like number 2, number 3, number 3, and number 4, something like that.
3-4.
And you know it's a conference game. It was still semi early in the season, but in years past, you see that Ohio State loss, and one, you think it's typical because Ohio State always finds a way to blow big games and choke their season away when they have, you know, like a team who has the most talent in the nation, like they do every year. But in years past, you're saying, all right, their season's over. They're not going to make the 4-team college football playoff. I'm not going to watch. I don't care if they make the Gator Bowl or the whatever else. What other bowls are there? The Duke's Mayo Bowl.
There's
Or
so
some
many at this
stupid
point.
bowl that no one cares about. Whereas now it's like, all right, well, they can still finish top 10. They even could still win the conference and get a bye week in the playoff.
Yeah.
So do you think the 12-team playoff makes college football better or worse? Because I think some people have said, like I saw a Barstool tweet when Georgia and Alabama were playing. It was like the 12-team college football playoff has ruined this because this would be both teams' season right here on the line. And it's like, well, now Georgia lost, but they were close, and it doesn't really matter because they're going to finish top 12, and they're probably going to make it in.
Yeah. I mean, it's good in some ways, but in other ways, it's a shame to see Alabama having their worst season in 15 years, and they're still probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, I shouldn't say definitely. There's still more football to be played, and they could lose again.
Yeah, that Vanderbilt game, they can lose to anybody.
The Vanderbilt, and then they lost to Tennessee. Which Tennessee's good this year.
They are.
The Vols, something's going on in Rocky Top.
But yeah, I think it makes it good overall. Like, I think a big argument was there's no point in having it 12 teams because 12 team will get destroyed by the one team. I think this year, I don't think it will be that crazy. Maybe 1 in 12 will be, but 2 in 11 and 3 in 10, those will be really, or I guess it won't be that with the buys, but you know what I'm saying. With I don't think it's as big as a difference as people thought it would be.
No, and I think part of that is the transfer portal because any team now can stock up on, Big Ten guys are going to the SEC guys, whatever. Where before it was like, all right, like one team's kind of going to dominate. Everyone from Alabama is going to dominate because they're just going to keep bringing in Alabama guys. Whereas now people want to play now, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I think there's more parity in college football now. And I think, you see that with Vanderbilt beating Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I think it does take away from some of the regular season where it's almost like I don't even have to watch Ohio State because they're probably going to make the playoff, right?
Yeah.
So like, what's the point of watching 12 games when that, like, I would say usually Indiana, I would use this as a example, but this year Indiana is good. But like, okay, Ohio State playing Indiana in years past, I don't need to watch that. I know they're going to win by 30. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But every game, it could be the end of the season. In
the past State, or now?
In the past.
Yes,
so
I agree.
You would have to watch.
So you would, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is, do you want fan bases to have to watch every single game? Which I guess.
I don't think they care.
Who's that? Who's that?
School.
The schools.
No. And as long as they're selling out the stadium, they don't care how many people are watching on television.
Yeah, and they're getting a chance to play in the cup. I like the 12 team because, like, looking at a team like Georgia, I was thinking of Georgia earlier today. Like, Carson Beck maybe isn't the best quarterback in the nation. He's up there. He's very good. But, like, maybe he's not the greatest, but, like, so they might lose a close game because in those really, really close games, like, it comes down to quarterback play. But besides him, they have one of the best teams in the nation. So now, just because they lost one game to Alabama, they're still one of the best teams in the nation. They can still win a college football playoff.
And I guess that's nice in some ways, but I don't know, the do or die aspect of every game in college football before being gone, I don't know. It's definitely a different game. I get why people who are traditional about the game are upset about it. Personally, though, I enjoy it more. It reminds me more of the NFL.
Yeah, where it's like you have to overcome adversity. You can overcome adversity and still be a great team and still win. Which, even though really in the 4-team college football playoff, we've seen a lot of teams who have 1 or 2 losses still making and still winning. Like, look at Alabama last year. Like, they lost a big game and they found a way to still make it into the college football playoff. Ohio State, the same thing. Like, I think the one year, I don't remember who it was, but they lost a big game. Actually, it was the year that they won the national championship. They lost to Virginia Tech early in the season. It was like, oh, man, the season's over. Like, they lost to VTech. Like, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
But they ended up coming back, getting into the playoffs somehow, and then all bets are off. So I think that more teams getting that opportunity is better.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of, like, a team like UCF about 5-6 years ago when they went undefeated. That's a team that probably should have been in the mix, conversation for a national championship, even though on paper they had no right playing against these teams.
Yeah.
They deserve to be.
But through the regular season, they showed that they at least deserve to have the shot.
Exactly.
Right. Same thing with like Cincinnati, the one year that they had Sauce Gardner and Desmond Ridder. Like, really, we don't know, but, let's give them a shot. They've shown that they deserve at least a shot at it. I think it makes my college football dynasty a little bit better. If I lose a game, I'm like, all right, well, at least we're still, I don't have to throw my controller through the wall now. At least I can still make the playoff.
If you lost a game, you might as well just sim the whole season.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was when I was playing college football 14, like for the last however many years on my Xbox in my parents' house, Xbox 360. Like, I was like, damn, we lost this game. Like, there's no point. I don't care about playing in the Holiday Bowl or
just turn off the
Yeah.
The PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas now it's like, all right, man, I still got a shot. We got to upset some teams. We got to make some people turn their heads. We got to shock the nation, but we can do it.
Sometimes it's hard, though, because if you got 2 losses and you're at a school that's or in a conference that's not the best, you're cooked.
Yeah, there are sometimes, though. What I really like is the matchups that it sets up. Like, people are like, oh, the do or die aspect of every game isn't there. It's like, well, you know, because of the way the conference lines up, like someone like Ohio State might make it in to the Big Ten championship, but maybe they have 2 losses, so they're ranked 15th. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, if they win this game, they can make it into the playoff.
Yeah.
And they might even have a bye, but if they lose, they're not going to make it in. So that's still there. It's just going to be a little bit later in the season for that to be there.
I think the storylines are going to be so much better too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a longer season.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to complain about if you like football.
Yeah, which I do, and we do a lot.
That's right.
216-859-8699. Text us in. Let us know your opinions on the 12-team college football playoff.
Hi, this is Melissa.
And hey, it's Matt.
Coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
WSRR Radio. We don't take kindly to fascists.
Hey, all you people. Hey, all you people, won't you listen to me? GenericClothes.com. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point at GenericClothes.com. Don't sell out to the big brand clothing empires and their prices. Make a statement at their expense with GenericClothes.com. Dom, do you remember that episode when SpongeBob puts jellyfish jelly on a Krabby Patty? Yeah. And the guy goes, hey, all you people.
Oh, I remember.
Hey, all you people, won't you listen to me?
How could you forget that?
I don't remember the rest, but I remember him going, a sandwich filled with jellyfish jelly.
I don't really remember a lot of specifics from SpongeBob, but I do remember the songs were great.
Yeah.
Just tying the shoes one.
The tying the shoes one was good. Oh, striped sweater. The best time to wear a striped sweater. That one. Like, those ones are the, like, stupid little shit like that sticks out in your mind when you think of the Sponge.
Yeah.
When you think of Bob.
I don't really laugh out loud when I'm watching television shows, but I remember, like, laughing out loud at that.
I do now, watching him. I keep saying him. I keep saying him like he's a comedian, like he's a stand-up.
I really think you might know this guy.
Me and Bob, we go way back. But when I watch Bob, I think of when I was watching him as a 10-year-old with my brother, and it, like, makes me laugh my ass off.
It is, it's pretty sophisticated humor.
A Krabby Patty. It is. Honestly, there's some parts, though, that I'm like, I never understood why that was funny when I was a kid. Like, I just, like, a lot of the lines I just glossed over. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, now I watch it, I'm like, that's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of that in old cartoons. Movies as well, like Shrek. You watch Shrek, too. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
Yeah, they do the O.J. Simpson joke in it.
I don't remember that one. Oh, yeah, the
Shrek
white Bronco.
Turns into a Bronco.
That one's...
We got a white Bronco?
No, that is two. That is two. Mm-hmm. And then they do cops. Instead of cops, it's knights.
Yeah.
And he pulls out catnip on Puss in Boots, and he's like, that's not mine. Like, it's a fucking bag of weed.
They don't even try anymore.
No, there's no creativity. Like, those movies, they're putting, like, something in there for the adults who are obviously watching with their kids to, like, make it enjoyable for them. Now it's just, like, all kid. Like, they've lost that.
Like, I think about when I have kids, I'm gonna make them watch the old stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not watching any of this junk.
So for a summer, I worked at the Sarah Hines house here in Pittsburgh, which is a boys and girls club. And in the summer, so it's like an after school thing, but in the summer they have like a day camp, pretty much for parents to drop their kids off and when they go to work, and pretty much babysitting, but, like, you know, we're doing summer camp type stuff. And the one thing, like, near the end of the day was sometimes we'd watch a movie, like, and the kids could kind of choose where they wanted to go, but they watch a movie sometimes. And the one day I was in charge, And I was going through all these Netflix movies, and first off, I'm like, what about this movie? And it's all the ones that I haven't heard of, these new ones. They're like, let's watch that. And I'm like, no, not watching that. But I was like, oh, the Goofy movie? Have you guys ever seen this? And they're like, no, we don't want to watch it. I was like, oh, that's too bad. We're watching the Goofy movie. And like, it's a kid's movie, and they liked it, but they just had never heard of it. But like, there was jokes in there that I was like, man, this is funny.
Yeah, that movie was great.
So I decided, like, yeah, I'm just going to watch, my kids are going to watch 90s, 2000s cartoons.
You're not watching this crap.
Yeah.
You're not watching Boss Baby.
No.
You're not watching Coco Melon.
No. I actually even got my nephew. This is a little bit different because it's even younger kids show, but I got my nephew to watch the original Thomas the Tank Engine because it's not like really funny. Well, it was funny to me. There were some parts like they just put this one train in jail at one point.
Yeah.
But
they banished him.
He went he went under a tunnel, like under a bridge, because it was raining and he didn't want to get his paint wet. And they were like, all right, cool. And they just sealed the tunnel up on him with bricks.
He
was banished in there. And then like, I was like, oh my, and then I was like, oh, okay. So now they're going to get him out. Like somehow he's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. And they get, the episode just ended.
Yeah. They just taught him a lesson and banished him for life.
And then I was like, oh, okay. So whatever. I guess we're going to forget about that. And then 2 episodes later, they drove by him and he's still sitting in there. He's just like, hey, what's up?
He's pretty much like,
eventually he got out, but he was all dirty from the bridge.
Pretty much like Prometheus, the guy who stole fire from the gods, gave it to man, and then they tied him to like a rock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bread and circuses.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting philosophical again.
Just like you with stealing candy from. Can you admit you looked it up in the break?
Yeah,
right?
in the first segment, I said that stealing candy from a baby was more. Well, you can listen back on it, but I was wrong. It just means it's easy. It's simple.
It's
Lucas
easy
was
to
right.
do it. Yes, I was right. What did I want to say? I was my kids are gonna watch old shows. Krabby Patties are the best show food. That was one of the things.
Whoa.
Krabby Patties with the jelly.
Yeah, with the jelly is the asterisk on that.
Even normal Krabby Patties, they'll look good.
Yeah, but it's not like #1 best fictional food.
What is?
I gotta think about that. But it can't be #1. The one with the jelly on though, it's up there.
Yeah, that looks so good. I remember I wasn't a big.
Try that. I wanted to get a hamburger and put jelly on it.
I mean, I put jelly on my breakfast sandwiches, which is like eggs and bacon. It's like with the meat. I think it'd be good.
Possible, but
I think it's good. I think it'd be really good. Now, jellyfish jelly though, I don't have any of that, unfortunately.
That's what you're missing
because it doesn't exist. Because jellyfish don't actually make jelly, which is unfortunate. You know, a lot of people. I've heard this conversation before. And I've heard people say, I didn't watch this show a ton, but Kim Possible's cheese pizza, I guess they do like one of those big cheese polls.
Well, speaking of something you just brought up, in the Goofy movie, they have a delicious looking slice
that's
of
a
pizza.
good one. When his, what's his friend's name? I forget his friend's name.
Otto. No, I'm kidding. I just made that up.
That's a good name, though. Max's friend, they're in the motel, and they pull out a big cheese pull. That's what, oh, yeah. Oh, but and then also in that movie, when the guy gets the cheese whiz. These are niche.
I've never liked
cuts.
cheese
I hope
whiz.
people know it. Yeah, I don't. It's not that good, but he makes it look good. Yeah.
Have you ever watched Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah.
The cheese on the moon. That looks good.
I don't know.
They go up to the moon just to get cheese because Wallace and Gromit loves cheese. And they cut up some cheese up on the moon. They put it on crackers, and it looks delicious. Wow, I still want it to this day.
They went up to the moon to make charcuterie.
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
Wallace and Gromit, so good.
Wallace and Gromit's another one that like, it's a kid's thing kind of, but like you watch it and it's like, oh, that like this
is real.
Like that penguin just pulled out a gun.
Yeah, he's bad. He's bad news.
He's bad news bears, huh?
Big time. Yeah, Wallace and Gromit. That was a great show back in the day. Pretty twisted, pretty dark and twisted.
I didn't watch enough of it, honestly.
The movie was no good.
What was Wallace and Gromit on?
I think it was like. I remember watching them on like DVDs, like going to Blockbuster.
Oh, word?
Yeah. What do you know about Hollywood Video? They have that?
I had a Blockbuster in my town. I had a Family Video too, I think. But I never had Hollywood Video. We weren't Hollywood enough.
Y'all weren't real.
We weren't real?
Yeah,
Blockbuster was the best. You know how many times me and my grandpa would go into Blockbuster and rent video games?
Yeah.
GameCube games?
Mm-hmm. GameCube might be the best console.
Did I say this last episode? No, I said this weekend again when we were talking about video games. We've done a lot of video game talk on this episode. I have my old GameCube from my grandparents' house. that is at my parents' house now because my grandparents have passed away. And every time I go home, I need to play it. Madden 05, Mario Baseball, Madden 06, excuse me, with Donovan McNabb on the cover. I play that, by the way, Madden 06. I know all the songs by heart.
Oh,
because I played it so many times. Like, I'll hear a song and be like, oh, this was on Madden 06, and I know every word, like, subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I legitimately was playing, like, a game, and I was, like, rapping along to this song that I was like, I don't remember
it's
this.
Like, I haven't heard this in 10 years,
yeah.
but I remember everything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Mario Baseball. It wasn't Super Sluggers, though. It was just Mario Baseball. Maybe it was All-Star Baseball it was called or something like that, but...
the intros for the Mario games used to be sick.
Yes, like when they would do like the showing all of the Mario characters like coming to play a game.
They'd set up a little story for it.
Yeah, the baseball one I can remember exactly what's him and Luigi are just playing catch at the beginning of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they put up some posters.
Yeah.
Bowser's having like a
he's having like a tournament or something like that, right?
And then they get all the boys involved, and then they're playing, and at the end Mario hits a home run.
Of course, rips a dinger.
Of course. Yeah, that stuff used to be great.
For some reason, my character I would always go with Donkey Kong. I think it was just because he was like,
his bat,
a gorilla. He's hilarious.
His bat was a boxing glove.
Yeah, he would just punch the ball. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just because I played with him so much, but like my brothers, when they would play with me, they could never use Donkey Kong. They were like, I don't know how to use like the bat. Like, they can't time it up.
It was kind of hard.
And I was like, it was like you had to hit it on a certain thing because obviously it's one boxing glove instead of a whole bat. So it's like you can't get on the X axis. You have to get it on the X and Y.
That's right.
Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. You got to line it up perfect. But I could do it, and I could rip some dingers with him. Yeah. And then he would turn around and flex on you. He also was a good pitcher because he was a sidearm pitcher. Which
throw him off.
Which made it the angles weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which made it just a little bit different. Again, I don't know why I used him all the time, but he had like two little things that made him unique.
Donkey Kong was always awesome.
DK was the man.
Yeah.
DK, Donkey Kong. I remember the song too. That one was from Smash Melee. That's why I remember the song. But what else? What other? Monkey Ball.
Yeah, that was
Monkey
fun.
Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey Ball was a good time.
The games used to be so much harder. Like now, I feel like I could play any game that comes out
and beat it.
Yeah, but like I play games that are old. They're hard to.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like you have to be good to beat this. Yeah. Whereas now it's like anyone, I don't know. Which I guess they have like difficulty ratings.
I mean, back in the day, like you get games for GameCube, and you'd realize in like 10 minutes, like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to play this game. This is way too hard for me.
Yeah, that happened.
Like
it's just like I don't understand what's going on,
and you just never play it again.
Yeah,
there were a lot of games like that.
I'm trying to think of any other games. We had this one game that was just it had 100 arcade games on it. We would just play arcade games.
Might have had this one.
I forget what it was called though, but it was good.
Play like
NFL
Galaga.
Blitz. You ever play NFL Blitz?
Mm-hmm.
That one wasn't even on the GameCube. I think that was on the 64. NFL Blitz is awesome, but that's an arcade game also. If you go to Pins in Southside, they have it for free. You can play it. I think they also have some Pins in Cleveland. I think there's one in Ohio City.
Go check it out.
But that's the way to do it. You go to Pins and you play arcade games all night for free, and you drink. It's a good time.
Really?
Yep.
Doesn't sound too bad.
And they got it in the Southside. We should go.
Yeah,
they got duck pin bowling too.
You have to show me how to play NFL Blitz.
Oh, dude, NFL Blitz is the best. You get to like body slam people. They literally pick them up and like.
So it's like good graphics though, right?
I don't know about good,
but it's not like arcade graphics.
It's
It's like Pac-Man.
Yeah. No, it's not like it's not
like
2D. It's 3D. It's
okay,
3D. Yeah. I'll show you a clip of it after.
All right.
It's if you haven't seen NFL Blitz, look it up. It was fun stuff. Then once they started moving into like Xbox, they actually made an NFL Blitz game. It wasn't like big, but it was again like they're not playing by the rules of football actually, because like they're body slamming guys. Like I think at one point you can like pick someone up and do a pile driver, stuff like that. So
can you smack someone over the head with a helmet?
There was a game that you could do that. Yeah. And there was also, this was like, I think once it moved to Xbox, they didn't get the NFL license. So they just like were making up fake teams. And then if your guy got hurt, you could like take him to the sideline and like give him a shot of steroids, basically. And you had to line it up and like put it in the target like just right. And if you got it wrong, he would be out for longer
Wow.
than if you hit it perfect.
Sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, I never played it, but I've seen clips of it.
The NFL and NBA street games, those were always pretty
Oh
fun.
my God, the best. NFL Street 2, when you could do the wall run, that was like, that opened up my mind to a whole new thing. I'll still play NFL Street every time I go home with my brother on the GameCube.
The game
That's
that
the
I
big one I
play
should have thought of.
every time I get back on the GameCube, Rocky Balboa video game.
Ooh, that's
It
a
is
good one.
so good.
I
There's a
never had
story
it, but
mode.
I remember my
So
cousin
good.
did.
So
And
much
it was
fun.
good.
Got every single character that's even like mentioned in Rocky.
Yeah.
So good.
Just like random guys at Rocky just beats their ass.
Like,
They're in the game.
You'll just like see like in the movies you'll just see like headlines like Rocky wins this or Apollo beats so and so.
Yeah.
Those guys are like in the game. They like make these guys. You go through like a whole career.
And they're terrible.
Yeah, I mean some of them are okay. I mean you gotta work your way through like the full career. So
Yeah.
you fight like Spider Rico. That's the first guy that Rocky fights in Rocky, the original movie. And then you work your way up to Apollo Creed, and then you do it again with Apollo Creed. And then once you fight Ivan Drago, you're scared.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
It's terrifying.
What about what's his name?
Lang?
Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
I love. That's
Yeah.
my favorite Rocky movie. Is 3.
It's up there.
Which I feel like it gets slept on because it's not, Ivan Drago's not in it. Apollo's not really in it. It's like, I loved it because it was like, he's kind of at the top of his career. He loses. Then he gets in a wrestling match with Hulk Hogan. Thunderlips, Hulk Hogan's in it. That's like a great part to me.
So,
and then he comes back and beats him again.
yeah, I watched this Vince McMahon documentary. I didn't realize that Hulk Hogan was like not big.
No, he's really
That
not
Rocky
that. I mean, he's
came out.
big.
No,
But,
not like size wise, but like he wasn't a superstar when Rocky 3 came out.
oh, really?
Like that like started him becoming like a
That put him
known
into
guy.
the zeitgeist
Yeah.
even more.
There
Second
we
time
go.
I've used
That
zeitgeist
one
on the
might have,
show. That time it was right.
I think so.
216-859-8699. Thanks for listening to Behind Enemy Lines. Let us know what's in your zeitgeist. We're using that board, putting it to work.
How to use that.
Tune in next week, and we'll keep talking football, video games, whatever you want. Like I said, 216-859-8699. Let us know what you want to hear on this show.
Peace.
The preceding program is a StylesRebelRadio.com production.